what is the point of worship? And I'm going to add a little bit to this one. What is the point of worship and maybe the point of, like, certain, like, postures, you know what I mean, like, you know what I'm talking about, like, those, like, like, if you could just,
We'd all like it if you did that again to illustrate for everybody, though. We love that. There we go.
Yeah, if someone wants to go on to that, whoever.
Do one of us have this? Okay, I'll share a thought. I would just encourage you, learning to worship God will be your anchor in your life. I actually, this last year, was going through it's kind of a harder few months personally of wrestling with depression and anxiety and things like that. And I met with Robert, who you met earlier today. Robert disciples me and mentors me, and I was just telling him just the troubles, tough season I'm in, and looking for advice, and hey, what can I do to get out of this? And he said, how is worship going in your life? And I was like, actually, every day I actually use my car as my own little personal sanctuary. So I'll go in my car, turn on music, I'll worship God and read the Bible, and I can stay there as long as I want. And I told Robert, I was like, actually, I worship every day, and I don't want to leave my time of worship. It's kind of hard to leave. And he was like, you'll be fine. And I was like, hold on, like, give me advice, he's like, you want to make it the long haul in life, and through difficult seasons, learn to worship God, learn to love God. I think worship is the most pure form of relationship with God, seeing who God is. Also, worship, what's the point of worship? Every day when I spend time in worship, it reminds me of who God is and who I am. Like, in most mornings, for whatever, that morning, I don't know what the deal is. Some nights you'll go to bed, like, excited about life and amped on Jesus, and then you wake up and you doubt everything. You don't know who you are anymore. And you're like, man, I have no motivation anymore. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what it is about mornings, but it seems for me, every day I need to realign myself with who God is and with reality. So to me, the point of worship is actually living in reality instead of being distracted by everything else that isn't really real. So worship to me recenters me. It opens my eyes to God. When I worship God and sing to God and declare who He is through song or through the Bible or through prayer, as I'm doing that, I start remembering and going, oh yeah. And then I kind of get realigned and fueled up to live my life for Jesus. And so the point of worship to me is it's life. It's what you were actually designed to do. You were born to worship God. If you don't worship God, you're not fulfilling your purpose. As somebody who is designed by God, your purpose is to worship God. That is your life's purpose. I was meeting with my son. I took him, he just turned 14, and I took him away for 3 days. And I was like, what's one of the main things I want him to know as he becomes a man? And I was talking to him about, listen, basketball's awesome, career's awesome, but your purpose is not those things. Your purpose is to worship God. If you learn to worship, you will succeed in life, because that is your purpose. So worship is your purpose.
And just in reference to the different ways that we demonstrate that, as we're worshiping, many churches, there's not a lot of expression, and that's okay. You don't have to raise your hands or start moving a little bit in order to worship God or really experience Him. But many churches do allow that and encourage that. And what I found is, I will raise my hands. I definitely don't dance, which is good for everybody. I don't think God would be like, what in the world? But when you raise your hand, it could be an act of surrender. It could be an act of, sometimes people put their hands out and it's like you're giving God your life, and it's just a physical demonstration of what's going on inside of you. It's hard for, I think, a lot of people to have a powerful encounter with the Lord and there not be some physical expression of that. So again, in worship, some people cry, some people get, real sober and solemn, and I think there's a time for all of those things. And of course, there are limits to that, right? We can just in our humanity become distractions, and we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that as we worship, the focus is all about Jesus. And it's all about God and giving him praise and thanking him for the salvation that he's brought to our lives. So